Hello, it's BrickBot here with a bunch of tanks because tanks for the new tank Cardbot, Metal Cardbot W. Tigun, the tiger tank. A nightly blue and a sickly green is a nice color contrast to say the least. The wild word mark here, and then the two modes really takes up a bunch of the chest. The GROWL cannon axes are his two standard weapons, as also shown here on the back of the box. That has axe modes and shoulder cannon modes. It as also shown on this side of the box. In front of all of this background is some lines and a radiant shine. What's going on in the back there? Yeah, there's his etched word mark here, Tigun. Hand cannon and chest cannon mode. Yeah, multiple modes for his standard weapon as well as the metal card weapon. September. Yeah, illustrations may vary from the product because this looks very much teal while the actual toy is dark green. Which also looks pretty good, but just that is a very different shade of green. That's probably also going to show up in the new season coming in December. Yeah, so dark green, white, and gold accents. That's a really striking color scheme right from the beat. And some nice mechanical detailings like somewhat exposed or gunmetal panels on this side. Those axe tank type of details. With knees, adjustable knees, so you gotta make sure to poke those out, you know, for the proper robot mode, instead of like leaving them like this. Nice green details on the arm, metallic green and gold. And the shoulders with all sorts of angles and patterns, even like little rhombuses here. Like gold buckles on the side, they kind of look like buckles or belts or rings. Big stompers with flat tread heels. And a chest that kinda looks like a vest with extra ammo, and a subtle tiger chest molded right in there with pockets. And even metallic bits of red paint throughout, like the knees, wrists, the wrist covers, the chest, and the back here, like a back tail light. A tank with a tail light. And the vents that are molded plastic. Yeah, I assume the treads on the back are just dangling like this because otherwise they would get in the way, but you can leave them like this. Yeah, so this is a very clean robot mode for a tank. Only this much left in the back and this hood, which is intentional. I think you can just practically imagine the gruff type of character he's gonna be in the season, in the new show. Like, look at that spiky hair he's got in the back. And a big old head crest with black paint inside and a gold chin that really looks like a scraggly beard. Feline beard, and his personal emblem kinda looks like a tiger that is on both sides. More abstractly tiger, but yeah, screw in the back means he can have it on both his ears and not just one. That's much appreciated. Yeah, so this is an intentional feature where I guess you could kind of bear the elements in the cold. Do you think he's gonna show up in the snow, in a snowy setting? Yeah, I guess maybe you kind of wish it just went even further back, but it's enough to see the head. And he even got little whiskers on the face, like Gundam style. Yeah, in fact, yeah, this entire thing, just mostly because it's white, does kind of feel like some sort of Gundam-inspired robot. But not exactly Gundam. For articulation, ball-socketed head means nice amount of wiggle, even with this hood. Yeah, it can go just all around. Ratcheting forward all the way around, even with that back kibble. Shoulders out that much. No double joint there. But transformational ratcheted backwards butterfly at least a little bit. soft ratchet elbow bend. this far, and ratcheted bicep swivels. A soft ratcheted waist all around. All the way forward. The skirt flaps naturally get out of the way. And then all the way back. Splits. But you're obviously more likely to break the, what I call the tank thighs now, because this ratcheted joint that really is only there for the tank mode. Ratcheted knee that much. That also has a lower thigh swivel. Yeah, so no upper thigh swivel here, because this little bit of an ankle tilt that much. That's still a good amount of ankle tilt. And a toe down, but not sure how useful that will be with this permanent tank heel here. And not much forward. No forward. So yeah, all these new metal Cardbots just have all the major articulation points as a standard. Anything less at this point will feel like a disservice. But what can you do with the extra tank knees? Yeah, you know, that silly thing. Or just crab walk. His standard weapon is this cannon barrel. Pretty sci-fi looking, like it's a hexagonal shaped type of cannon. It is not perfectly hexagonal either, so that's a unique concept, so you can imagine just shooting laser blasts. It even has a targeting reticle here. So on its own, it does look quite short. But there are multiple ways to equip it here, like right here for the hand cannon mode, Megatron style. Yeah, that's technically wrist cannon, like fusion cannon style. But you can see it's closer to hand. And there are 3 tabs here that tab right here, so you can attach it as a chest cannon mode, Warpath style. Kablam! Yeah, and I guess you can kind of see through this. Just for more precise sniper shots that are pretty powerful bursts, I imagine. This is not official, but you can kind of mount it on the wrist on the other side. And right here, where it's properly meant to be. And finally, there's the... Put it in my accessory storage mode. Yeah, just plonk it right in there. But you don't want to have him equipped. Then you just have this thing hanging out. I guess you could kind of jump jet with it. Puke. Well, this metal card certainly is not thick, but it really is extending beyond the card borders. On the sides, I'm not sure, like, that's not gonna easily fit in a deck. Yeah, so it's nice how they arrange the cannons like this. It's some sort of tiger boomerang or top. Yeah, just split them like this. Open its jaws to reveal a 5mm handle. And extend those to extend the axe handles. So they go right in the hand. Preferably you want to leave the screw size on the inside. Yeah, so they're kind of hatchets in the way he's holding them. Not at the tips. Because these are quite square, so I guess would have been nice if they could be held like this, but it's fine. 5mm compatibility goodness. Not quite so for the other way around, I guess. I know they should be safe, but those are awfully thick and blunt axe blades. They just feel like more like bludgeoning things at this point, and is that a tiny bit of gold that is not painted here kind of gives it a washed marbled effect, coincidentally enough, so I thought they're usually good at completely coating surfaces in metallic paint. Also, nice little bit of gold that they precisely got here. And I hope that those sharp tiger jaws don't accidentally bite onto him. Yeah, I guess you would expect them to kind of be the tiger heads to be facing forward. But they can be in the cannon modes, the shoulder cannon modes, which they go right on the 5mm handholds here. Yeah, he can hang in there. Yeah, so there are holes on either side of the cannons. And I guess the back kibble can be adjusted to whichever way you want. They're quite versatile, so preferably you want to angle the ratcheted bits than the hinged bits here because to make sure they don't pop off easily. But yeah, nice double shoulder cannon look. Of course, they're always extended in either mode. But if you can get a good hold onto it, you can simulate that like a cannon recoil. Pew! Pew! Coincidentally, you could also put them closer here right on the hood. Non-cannon cannon placement! To figure out the transformation, obvious head hood should cover that in the vehicle mode. Wrist in, wrist in. Yeah, that sideways leg split is for the H-Tankin. Oh yeah, there's even a little block here that should fill out the tank mode. Oh yeah, and then this whole assembly goes in the back. That should also fill out the front. And clip into his butt. Once you snap in his waist and collapse it. And then these bits that independently turn, that could look like it's a combiner pelvis, but it's not. Yeah, of course you bring those shoulders back. But then with all this other stuff in the way, yeah, oh yeah, now I see that you can turn this 180. So that these folded out bits plug into that hood. And then also mainly clip into here. Oh yeah, make sure they clip in this way, apparently. And then these little tread bits should peg in once you slide those out. Oh, you gotta love it when they actually use screw holes as actual functioning connection parts. Otherwise, they'd just be dead holes. And then another panel to cover up that leg bit. Soft ratchety. And then I reveal. In 2 steps. Yeah, this doesn't look much like a tank without the barrel nose. And it should be easier to slide these arms one at a time than both. But it works either way. So we have a nice white pristine tank, a sci-fi tank with 6 caterpillar treads. I thought sci-fi tanks would usually limit themselves to 4 treads, but this is whole 6 sets. Maybe this could have been extended so this actually connects with the middle ones, but it's a look. Kinda makes him look like a insect caterpillar for a tiger themed tank. Not sure how practical would this be. Maybe more treads like wheels would mean it could travel better on rougher terrain. Like really rough terrain that could be like, just with craters blown into them in very circular shapes. Referencing a white, mostly gray, and a green tank that is tiger themed. It sounds very familiar. Hello, Duke from Tank Knight's Portraits. Yeah, this must be a nostalgic feel for 2003 Eastern kids. Personally, I don't remember seeing this in stores when I was in Korea in 2003 for a short visit, but I did have one of the mobile games on my old flip phone. Flip phones. And then I just imported this from Bai just to show a very obvious inspiration that, you know, the Korean kids also growing up with the dub also seen. And I actually went out of my way to get one. And this is a certain engine frame version that's a buildable kit. That is the most show accurate out of this little subline. And as far as I'm willing to go, I mean, have you seen how much those main Metal Rise ones go for? I mean, you can see the similarities, right? I mean, this kind of looks like a modern Tank Knight Fortress character. Like in 3D graphics, because just cannon schnoz with the signature metal Cardbot eyes just really makes it kind of a cute character for a supposedly like muscly gruff character I'm gonna assume in the season. Even this targeting reticle works for the vehicle mode. It also works for his tank eyes. But if you don't like that silliness on the popular metal Cardbot toys, those shoulder covers do work in vehicle mode, making him one of 2 metal Cardbot toys that can hide away their eyes without any mods. There, are you happy now, serious Transformers fans? No more of this kiddie intrusive nonsense. This is a serious sci-fi tank, who is actually seriously disguised in a world where metal Cardbots haven't made known to the public. Now he can be in a serious display comparing modern and future tanks, and fight a serious Transformers war in the serious Transformers franchise with serious Transformers toys for the serious collectors. Okay, playful jab aside, just looking at this as its own sci-fi tank, it is kind of obvious what this bulge is, so really, he should have his eyes open most of the time. I mean, how can you not love his little tank nose? And look, his 5mm holes are exposed on the side. So you can put his GROWL cannons on the side. Yay for triple compatibility. Although I think I might have offset my tank's cannons, so. Yeah, triple firepower. Thanks for leaving this feature in, designers, even though it may not be intentional. Okay, this tab on this side, on the same side, might get in the way on this side though, but directly forward, go pewing away. So, is Tigun the best modern Korean Transformer tank toy? Well, I say he pretty much is. I mean, much more articulated than these other guys. And pretty complicated for older kids, but you know, it is still pretty good. Like, double slider joints in this back piece alone, just nice, simple, moving, multiple function parts. And pretty good articulation, even if the weird thigh swivel thing, but that's just a nitpick. You guys, a really good design, like a really good, nice and bulky kind of design. That's pretty simple to transform. I guess nitpicks are the lack of outward shoulder and maybe this back bit that's a little bit all flexible. But yeah, this is really awesome. Another really awesome new design for Metal Cardbot W. And really, the only major nitpick is the integration of the shoulder cannons. Because 5mm holes, just simple 5mm holes, and considering they're on harder plastic, they pop out more easily than like if they were just softer 5mm holes. But as long as you're careful about that, or just use them as just melee weapons, then probably not the most big deal breaker, but still is going for some unique things. And the full posability just blows all the other tank guys away. On the current Transformers side, we have the Fallen, the most famous of the 13. That is Leader Price. Versus a big, hardy, tanky boy, that is Voyager Price. I mean, you could say, like, why not both, but, you know, there are gonna be comparisons made, price-wise. I think Tigun is going to fill a similar role or archetype to Muscle Hide. Because it's pretty certain the Season 2 Cardbots are mostly away. The Speranza crew has gone back home, the hidden Cardbots are off exploring, I guess. But we'll see how kind of similar but different he is to the tough, muscular guy. And also consider that old fans can't help but to think about this little guy when they see this big old green tank. He's great! Alright, now time for the other returning big guy.